Welcome, everybody, to the 4th episode of the Speakeasy Podcast. My name is Victor.
And my name is Joey.
Welcome back, Joey. Now, I have one question for you that you can think about while we do the podcast, and then I want your answer at the end. We've now done 3 episodes and 3 After Hours episodes. Ooh, yeah. What is the most important thing about this podcast?
Ooh, okay, interesting. Sure.
Think about that, and otherwise, let's just roll right into catching up. How have you been, my friend?
Very good. It's been a really good week, actually.
Nice.
Well, definitely. Well, first of all, we launched.
Yes,
we
did.
Launched. So that was nice.
Yeah.
It's been exciting.
But let's do a quick cheers for that. Let's do a big quick cheerios, my friend. We did it.
Cheers.
What are you drinking?
It is a sherry cask bourbon.
Ooh. Looking very nice.
Very smoky.
Very good.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm drinking this Glenfiddich. It'll be reversed for you people, but it's a Glenfiddich 12-year. Very nice. Also a bit smoky.
I can see it I can see it normally.
Yeah, but it'll be reversed because it's my camera.
But no, I did. Me and my girlfriend watched Everything Everywhere All at Once, which we talked about in the last After Hours.
So give me the review. How is it?
Very good. It is a very good movie.
Nice.
It's actually not a lot to wrap your head around, but like you have to pay attention.
Yeah, I guess.
But amazing performances. Michelle Yeoh. I kind of lost his name. I think it's something. But the main male supporting actor. And the main her daughter. She phenomenal. Everyone. Everything just switches style constantly. The dressing, what is it called? Like the costume design.
Oh yeah.
Phenomenal.
Nice.
Phenomenal. The editing, which we also talked about. Like I think I heard that it wasn't one, but it was a group of 5.
Oh yeah, they did it on.
Still,
they did it on like
Premiere Pro or something.
Premiere Pro, yeah, it was very
but
budget.
The editing is phenomenal, and you were right. Last episode, I wish Doctor Strange was like that.
Yeah, that's what people say.
I wish.
Yeah.
It's a really good movie. So if you haven't checked it out,
I haven't. I will check it out.
It's really good. Then on Saturday, we actually went to the cinema because we talked about it. And I was like, I want to go to the cinema.
Yeah.
And we went and saw the Dungeons and Dragons movie.
I did as well. So
you
we can talk about that.
Sick.
Yes.
All right, gang. So how did you like it?
Very, very good. Surprisingly good. Like when you see these types of movies, I always feel like they either take themselves way too seriously or not too serious at all. Where either you go, okay, it's just a nerdy thing, so we'll just it's all fun, look at the nerds, or it's like it's a hyper realistic version of Dungeons and Dragons, where you go, okay, that's a bit much. But this was the perfect middle ground for me. Very, very good.
I fully agree.
I don't like Justice Smith in general. So he was a bit for me, but the rest was cast so well. Especially, and I'm gonna butcher this name. I'm just gonna call him the Paladin, Sank. Amazing.
Oh yeah, the guy from Bridgerton.
Yes, exactly.
That's literally what
I don't. And he his name is something very wild. I'm gonna look it up and then I'm gonna try and pronounce it because it is a handful. He's called, I guess, it's French, of course, Jean Page or something like that, along those lines.
I believe you. Yeah,
a phenomenal job.
Literally, what my girlfriend said. Oh, hey, that's the guy from Bridgerton. That's the hot guy from Bridgerton.
Insert the Leonardo DiCaprio meme. Yeah, exactly.
No,
very
I
good.
agree. Yeah, I agree. No, that's literally what I said. Like, it's obviously not a cinematic masterpiece. Like, it's not like a good movie, but it's fun because it literally knows what kind of I feel like it encapsulates D&D itself.
Exactly. And it's like when you do a movie like that, you have to be aware that your audience will know what this is, and they'll know what to do with this movie. Now, you're right in the sense that it's not technically a brilliant movie where the script is Oscar nomination wise level, but at the same time, we've had so many poor fantasy movies recently. Like I watched Avatar 2 and I was like, what the hell, what's happening here, right? And so this was a refreshing change of pace. Like I said, the casting was great. Hugh Grant just seems like he's enjoying that role so much.
I love Hugh Grant.
Chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. I also
like.
No, you go
Chris
first.
Pine also did a
yes.
I feel like he did a really good job.
I will say there was one thing that surprised me. That's that he didn't do a lot of Bard-ish stuff. It's like where's all the spells? Where was the singing? Where's like. But other than that, wonderful. I will also say the first thing I said was, "Oh, Michelle Rodriguez is cast in this. She's gonna be playing Michelle Rodriguez because that's what she does, and that's exactly what she did, you know." But it worked. It was fine.
Yep. No, I agree. I feel like I saw an interview or something that he says that he deliberately wanted to, because everyone kind of used magic, like he kind of wanted his bard to not be sufficient to magic. So,
okay.
Yeah, you know. But the all the jokes and everything is really how D&D goes in real life, which is funny.
I will say they rolled hella good. Like there was no nat once in this one. It was straight 20.
Maybe the first, like when they resurrected the zombies.
Oh yeah, true.
Spoiler. That was a funny bit.
I will also say,
what was your favorite part of the movie?
My favorite part was definitely the part where they went to Underdark.
Yes,
that was wonderful. Yes, that's not a spoiler. That's in the trailer as well.
That was funny.
So funny. I think there is one thing that I was kind of surprised by, and that's the fact that they I thought when you see it, the I'm gonna put it this way. I'm gonna keep it as spoiler free as possible. Okay, the villain. I thought it was gonna be the other potential villain that was gonna be the final villain.
Same.
And I was like the whole way it was introduced was like, so this is where it's gonna end up, and it was just like
it's leading up to this guy.
Oh no.
Girl. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know.
Yep.
But it's obvious that this is gonna be a very nice franchise. They're already talking about a sequel and a third sequel, I think, or a second sequel. And I saw what's he called? The guy that directed it. Sorry.
I have no clue.
Jonathan Goldstein. Sorry, said that it's gonna be like a whole universe.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. So.
I mean, they said. I mean. Obviously, it's played in the D&D world, like the canon universe, so it makes sense.
We had an interesting discussion here. We went 5 people, right? And what do you think this does for people that don't play D&D? Let's say you're a new player, or like let's say you're just you know what D&D is, you never played.
I don't know, because. That's a difficult one, because I feel like you can't make assumptions on how the game is played other than actually playing the game.
Yes.
And that's the same with, and I love Critical Role. It's amazing, but watching Critical Role is the worst
introduction
feeling. As a dungeon master, because you are dungeon master, I'm a dungeon master. So like when players come in with insane world building, lore heavy expectations, it is really difficult to please.
Yes.
Now this movie, I don't know, because it, like you said, it's not technically like super, and it's funny. It's like it's a bit jokey, like But this movie might make it too jokey.
I feel like the issue for me is that on one hand, it's a very, very good introduction, I feel, because it showcases all the fun you can have in the world, right?
Yes.
Now, on the other hand, and for those who don't know, Critical Role is like a tabletop Dungeons and Dragons game that are being live streamed on Twitch. So look it up if you're into D&D and you haven't. But okay, I guess if you're into D&D and you haven't,
then you probably heard of
you
it.
probably know what it is. Now that's one thing. The thing I don't know if will land correctly is that you don't see the complexities of the game. Like, it makes it look almost so easy, and you're like, where's the stat checks and where's the DC, where do you roll, and like the whole character building and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So on one hand, it's I think it's for experienced D&D players, it's a wonderful movie. You'll have a ton of fun. It's easy to go into and just enjoy your I didn't even know it was like over 2 hours long. But it doesn't feel like that. Yeah, it's 2 hours and 15 minutes playtime. So,
I didn't.
But very, very nice movie in general, I feel.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Well, and with that, I think we should say cheers. By the way, let us know in the comments, what are you drinking? What's your preferred drink?
Yep. Also, if you're under 18 or 21, depending on where you live, drink responsibly.
Always drink responsibly, no matter where you are. So, Joey, we are back for the 4th album. Mm-hmm. And for this one, we chose to do something a bit different. Why don't you enlighten our audience and what we did?
All right. So, as you know, the past 3 episodes have been hip-hop. Because we share a big interest in that. But we kind of wanted to change it up this week. So, we didn't strave off too far. Because as if you've seen the post that we made earlier this week, we are going to be reviewing the Weeknd's debut mixtape, House of Balloons.
Yes, sir.
Yep. And what an album it is.
What an insane achievement, I want to say, because this is, we should say, this is highly, highly acclaimed. For a lot of people, it is what shaped the soundscape of R&B for a better part of a decade. Like subject-wise, he tackles a lot of stuff that you've heard 1,000 times before, but at a very much different pace and expression. But yes, let's get into it. A quick preface: this is obviously the first of 3 mixtapes that he did in the trilogy. We will not be reviewing the other 3 because the other 2 of the trilogy, because we have too many albums that we want to get through. But suffice to say, they are all 3 available on Spotify and YouTube should you wish to listen to them yourselves. So go right ahead and do that. With that, Joey, let's get into it. Track number 1.
Number 1.
High for this.
Yeah.
Now, initial thoughts for me is, I remember let me do a bit of a story time. I didn't catch on to The Weeknd before he was already mainstream, because I was so sick of bad R&B, and that's just I was sick of all the Ushers and the Chris Browns doing the same thing.
Yep.
So I had pretty much given up hope. Almost, I was like, okay, well, R&B is kind of dead, So I didn't listen to this mixtape until he was already in the mainstream spotlight, and I'd had a couple of hits. So Are you the same way or what?
I'm gonna do you one better. This is my first week of listening actually to the whole album. Yeah, because not because I don't rate The Weeknd in general.
No, I know.
I think the newest albums are amazing.
Let's have a quick segment on that in the end, because obviously where he is now compared to this is leaps and bounds.
Yes. But I always felt like it was a bit much of like
Yes, he feels himself a lot, right?
That type of music. So I never really felt the need to check out all of his stuff. But holy shit, I'm glad we're doing this.
Yes. This and especially this track as an opener blew me away the first time I heard it. It is such a dark and gritty beat. It is almost dubsteppy in the way the bass and the treble like leads into the chorus.
The chorus, yes. Oh,
man.
The thing with the chorus as well is just like it starts off with swell, obviously, of different kind of things, but every other chorus just builds and builds on top of that, which it's so good.
It's so
and
good.
Obviously he's talking about, you know, drug and alcohol fueled parties that he's having. But man, what a voice.
Like this is the first time where I listened to him, and I legitimately like jaw drop moment where I went, okay, now I see what the hype is about, right?
Yeah.
That voice on top of that beat and the sincereness, and it's also very honest. Like there's no I saw an interesting comment the other day, I think a month ago or something, and it was in regards to all the problematic R&B singers, and it went, all the guys that kept telling you how great they were, the Chris Browns, the R. Kellys, the they all have issues, and the only guy that's actually the way he's portrays himself is The Weeknd, because he's up front. He's like, this is my issues, you know, this is what I deal with. But it's obviously just a song about him getting high and what he wants to do to what I perceive as a woman. Man, I will say it starts out very slow. Like the first like verse is very subdued. The beat, you only hear the drum patterns and the like strings. I guess what is supposed to be strings. The pre-chorus, the part where it says we don't need no protection. That's the first part where I went, oh, that voice, man, it's so good. It's just,
I know.
Yes. The chorus is far and away my favorite part of this track. It's so good. I know. It's everything you want an R&B chorus to be. It portrays a feeling. It's lust. It's experimentation. He's obviously not sober.
No, but that's gonna be a theme for the whole album.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also it builds an intensity. The second verse is more direct. He's putting more like volume in his voice. He's like putting more chest into it. It's just so good, man.
Yep, it's very good.
Man, what an opener.
Yeah. Yep.
I also really like I guess you could call it a bridge or the post chorus where it goes up. Whoa, whoa, whoa. It's just so good.
His vocal range is just,
it's incredible. He's incredible at this. Now, what did you get other than him obviously doing some sort of drugs? Since that's explicitly what you want to be high for this, you know. What did you get from the theme? Are they having sex? Are they not? Because I feel like that's the debate that's going around.
I don't know yet. I feel like it's leading up to it. I feel like he's like kind of taking this girl and introducing her to all the drugs and alcohol and whatever. Having a good time and whatever. And then I feel like it kind of probably leads up to the next song. So I don't think yet, but they're on their way.
Yes, exactly. I agree.
Yeah.
For sure.
So should we bleed in that? Should bleed that in right into the next track?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So next track is What You Need. And this got really sensual and seductive with the beat.
Yes.
And obviously it's him having this girl, and he's providing this drug party life, and she is like encapsulated with it, but she's in a relationship, but he's just saying, listen, I got what you need. He's what you want, but I got what you need. So, you know, make a choice. And obviously, you know,
it ends up where it ends up. I like the way he's so self-confident in his pull game. He's like, I mean, we both know where this is going, you know.
Yes.
Come on. Also the intro. The intro, Baby Now Hold Me Close. Do you know who that is?
Yeah. No?
It's Aaliyah, interestingly enough.
Really?
Yes, it is. So, and also an homage to one of the quintessential R&B singers that obviously passed away way too early. Rest in peace to her.
Yeah.
So yes, that is taken from Rock the Boat. Her track Rockabouts. Yes,
Yeah.
this is such a seduction. Very seducing. Very. I haven't, but I could definitely see people having sex to this song. It's that sort of vibe, right?
For sure.
And it's just the chorus is just him saying, "I'm what you need, what you need, what you need." You know, he's what you want. I'm what you need.
Yeah.
It's just yes. And
I'm
also
what you need, and I got what you need.
Yes, so, exactly.
You know.
I like the way he first he asks her to leave them high heels on, and then he says, "Watch me knock your boots off." Where I go, I'm kind of confused, but it works. I mean, it works.
Yep. That's some questionable lyrics in this album, but
there is for sure. But and I feel like unlike some of the later tracks, this is a very straightforward, very seductive track. Not a lot to it. It's just about him smashing, pretty much.
Yep. Yeah.
Do you like the beat on this, by the way? Before we move on.
Not my favorite.
I feel it gets a bit repetitive for me at the end.
Yeah, maybe.
It's a bit, but I don't dislike it. I do like
the what I don't know what it's called, but like the like so it was like his like rasping on something. I don't know what it's called.
Yes, I don't know what it is. Probably electronic. I don't think
I do like the like something like that.
Yes.
But I do like it, but it's not my favorite.
No.
There's a lot of good beats in this.
Yes. I don't actually know how much of it he's produced himself. Obviously, he's involved in the production of it, but yes. Now, track 3.
Yep.
A behemoth track, a very very long track. A two-part track, you could say. House of Balloons, the title track / Glass Table Girls.
Yep.
Now, talking about a good beat.
The first kind of with all the synths in the background.
Yes.
Lord.
Like the distortion on it.
Yeah.
It's
and
so
it kind
good.
of it just feels like a nightlife club life.
You yes.
Yeah,
you
just instantly
right there in the club, bumping on the dance floor, trying to hit up. You're probably drunk. For him, he's obviously had something a bit stronger than that.
Yes.
And his vocals are just so clean and strong.
Yes. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, what I do have one thing about the chorus that kind of puts me off. Not that it's not amazing, but that it's like it almost feels like he's trying to say that it's fun too much.
Yes. And that's a theme,
you know what I mean?
Right? Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
And for me, I read that as him going, okay, I understand we're pushing this a bit too far. We're probably doing a bit too much to make this the perfect night.
Because like it starts off with like open the window if you can't breathe or something.
If it hurts to breathe, open a window. You go, what the fuck? What is happening
it's like,
here?
Obviously, it's getting pretty at a dangerous level of drug use.
Yes.
And partying.
Yes.
So I like obviously this is a house of fun. Yeah, it's fun. And
he goes, this is a happy house. We're happy here in a happy house.
Yeah.
It feels so forced, and it feels like him.
Yes.
He's acknowledging, okay, I need these drugs to not feel shitty, pretty much. And that in turn makes me go, fun. This is fun. All the time fun. Yes.
Exactly. Yep. Can we talk about the transition though?
The second part, the Glass Table Girls.
The transition into it, where he's like and then it just kind of like breaks it down, and then it's like gets really dark.
And it's
really trippy.
Yes. And that's, for me, I read that as him spacing out, right? Almost on the verge of overdosing, right? Where he goes, he almost can't do the segue, right? He go, bring the 707 out. Where you go, okay, he sounds like he's high, right?
Yeah. And do you know what a 707 is?
No, I thought it was a beat machine.
No, it's a glass table.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So he's bringing out the glass tables to do coke.
That makes sense.
Can you give me 1 second?
And we back?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good.
All right. Sorry about that.
All good. Now.
Yep.
I did open the Genius for this because, like you said, I didn't know. It is both a drum machine and it is a glass table made by Boeing, the airplane maker.
Company.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's also the chemical name for glass cleaners like Windex. Most likely used to clean the tables after snorting the line of coke. So there's like a triple entendre on that. Very sick. And I imagine when he says that, the most obvious one is the fact that when he says it, the drum pattern switches and you get the very tappy beats.
Yeah.
And I guess that's a 707 making that.
Oh.
Wait, well, I'm guessing, right? Very cool. Yeah. Very, very cool. Obviously, the second verse is laced with drugs. 2 pubs for the lady who'll be down for that. Whatever together. Bring your own stash of the greatest. Trade it. Roll a dub. So this is the after party, right? This is after you've been to the club. You go to your home, and you just
party some more.
You have to keep it going. But I also read it as because here he's talking about them rolling a dub, which is a joint. So he might also be at the same time doing cocaine to get him high. To be like, it's an upper, right? It's what you call an upper. But then he feels like he's too high up, so he has to smoke weed, which is calming him down, which is a wild thing, right? I've never taken drugs, so I don't know, but I've heard that that's what you need to do. Like when you take cocaine, you don't really choose when you go to sleep, unless you actually do something to calm you down, right? Yeah. So I mean, that's wild.
Did I catch a Pharrell reference, by the way?
Oh, is there?
I lost it. It's like Drop It Like It's Hot.
I don't know. It could be.
Oh, how does it go? See these.
See the ice cube. See these ice.
Yeah.
Yes, he does. He says that. Where's that? I'm gonna find that. He says that somewhere.
It's in this song.
Yes.
It's in the second part. Like these nice dreams.
Yes, you're right.
And something.
You're right. Where is that? I don't know. I also like the part where he goes, I heard he do drugs now, and he goes, you heard wrong. I've been on it for a minute. Like he's just like, nah, it's not now. Yeah. It's like I've been there.
Yep, been there, done that.
Also, the last part where he goes, we can turn this to a nightmare on Elm Street, where it like distorts until
it's literally
so
the bar before
cool.
that. It's the bar before that. Yeah.
No, it's not. Oh, he does say, but I'm a nice dude with some nice dreams. Yeah. Oh yeah, it is exactly. Yeah. Yes, it is from Drop It Like It's Hot. Yes, you're right. Yeah. We can turn it to a nightmare. Yes, just a very, very cool. Obviously, don't do drugs if you're watching this. Needless to say, but what a track.
Yes.
And I think it's like 6 minutes total, but it's worth every. And I remember the first time I heard it, I went, oh, like the beat switch is almost. I don't think it's wasted because they fit so well together. But I almost went, okay. There's a part of me that wants this to be just a separate song, because it's like it could fit us as like just a standalone track. And interestingly, when I played this the first time for my girlfriend, she loved it up until the second part, and she went, "Oh, that part is too eerie for me. It's a very scary beat. The second one."
Like first time I listened to it, I couldn't really figure out what he was saying. So I was like, "What is happening?" Like I could hear it was like the boo 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 boo, and I was like, "Whoa, what is happening?" But yeah, nah, it really contrasts the happy of like high parts of the drug, and then the lower and like the grittier.
And that's a theme in general of this album is he portrays the highs very very straight to the fact. Like he doesn't like try and excuse that it's nice. He just plainly states, when you're high, it's great. When you have the great feeling, it's great. But he also describes the bad part where you go, oh, this doesn't sound nice. Like, so if you were to, because I think there's a lot of people that are like, I don't want to say bad mouthing him, but like they are having a hard time figuring out why you want to portray it like this. Like it's almost like he's promoting it to some extent. But I feel like he's also showing you how bad it is when you're in it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
for sure. Yep.
But wonderful track. I also feel like if I do have one criticism of this track, it's the fact that the outro is so long. It feel like it takes forever, the last part, where it's just the I'm so gone, bring out the glass table, and then there's the OOs in the back, and it's just so long. That could have been cut for me because it's already a 6-minute track, I think. So, but yes, very very nice track.
Next up.
Yes, The Morning.
The Morning.
What about this one? What's your feelings?
What a warm holiday vibes I get from that guitar.
Yes. That's
wow. True. It's like a morning in the sunshine and like whatever. It's like on just a tropical island. You're just
very
sitting
bright
on the beach.
Yeah.
But obviously it's the morning after the party and he's still high.
Yes.
And he's trying to eat and drink the high away, but the girls he had with him were leaving, new
calling cabs at 6:45. Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean,
it's the morning after.
It's literally I feel like at this point it feels like he hasn't got to sleep yet, obviously, because he in the glass table girls he goes and it's 6:30.
Yeah.
Pre-time because time don't exist, and here he goes. The girls calling cabs at dawn 6:45. So this is maybe 15 minutes after the last track.
Yeah.
He hasn't gone to sleep. He's high as a motherfucker. He is. He says complaints from the tenants. So obviously the other people in his apartment complex are like,
that whole bar is wild.
Yes, exactly right.
Got the walls kicking like the 6 months pregnant or something.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Wild, man. And he's annoyed that it's getting cold. So he's just booking plane tickets, which I feel like is such an underrated part of this. It's like you do dumb shit when you're high. So he's high. He feels like it's cold. So he'll just order plane tickets to California. We go, okay.
Yep. Why not?
Why not? And there's a Scottie Pippen reference in there. Like, but you're right. It's a very beautiful track. It's very calming and relaxing. Yes. Even though when you read the verses, you're like, it's not really that. It doesn't sound that chill when you.
Doesn't sound that nice, is it?
No. But yeah. I will also say he is kind of taking shots in the second verse. Why are these N-words testing? Always testing me, like it's so he feels like he has to protect himself, or like he's getting checked. But in this instance, that always make it. I read it as him being paranoid because that I know that you get paranoid from cocaine.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that he's paranoid. He's like, you want to go? You like he's trying to like find a fight almost. So it's on the surface a very beautiful track, but when you dive into it, it's the dark sides of drugs, right? It's all the side effects that you don't want. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Obviously, we from the cozy, very secure part of Northern Europe have no clue how it works. But I would also think that the parts of town where he's lived at this point would probably be insecure areas, and so you would probably feel like in general you would watch out more. Yeah, exactly. And so that probably enhances the paranoid part of the drugs, I would guess. But yes, very very beautiful, serene beat.
And then you come to the next one and it takes a full 180.
Yes. Now this is the most famous track, I feel, of this album. Wicked Games.
The first single, I feel like, no?
I think so. I think it's the only single, right?
Oh, it could be. Yeah, probably.
I'm gonna just research that. Talk to me about the track.
Yeah. So I love the electric guitar in the instrumental. It's really amazing. But yeah, it's just he's talking about the struggles in his relationship, trying to find a way to cope with like prostitutes and drugs, like because his relationship isn't working out with this lifestyle, I feel like.
Yes.
Then the hook and the way he harmonizes is gorgeous.
Yes.
But also really sad. Like I feel like
the pre-hook is almost more intense to me than the actual hook. Because that's the most sincere part. That's where he's like actually confessing to being a flawed person. Where he goes, "Bring your love, baby. I could bring my shame."
Yeah.
So he's ashamed of what he is as a person. Bring the drugs. I could bring the pain. Obviously, he's in pain. He's not at a good place in life. You want to know something crazy? When I first heard this track, when it was a single, that was the first time I heard him, and I actually didn't like the track because I felt and that's nothing. I think his voice is perfect on it. The hook is beautiful. I just think the beat is almost too simple, and it doesn't really underline the track as much as other beats on this album does. And so I was like, it's kind of a miss in that sense. And I still feel that way. I feel like I understand why it's such a simple beat, but it's also almost too soft for what he puts into it. I feel. I guess I'm just spitballing. I don't know. But I would guess that that's because him and his producer was like, okay, your voice needs to shine here. This is the big like emotional outpour. This is where you put your heart into it. You go, okay, I understand what I've been saying so far is kind of messed up, kind of. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. Like I really like the instrumental actually. Like I don't think it needs a lot more. I feel like this just it's kind of in line with it. So I don't think I fully agree with you. I really like the heavy electric guitar.
Yeah.
That I feel like does boost kind of like the kind of shame that he feels, like because it's not an uptone.
I will say I agree with you. It's a very cold beat. It gives a very cold feeling to the song. Very
somber almost.
Yes, like I agree.
It does kind of feel like somber and like shamed. I do really get that feeling of that, like, fuck, what have I done kind of thing.
Yes.
What am I doing?
That's
what I'm getting.
Obviously, in this part, he is now hungover. Not only hungover, but also sober, I guess. But like he's coming down. Everything is shit. His life is shit. All the girls have left him. He can't get together with the girl he really wants to be with. And so I feel like that the in that sense the beat fits because it's the contrast to the heartwarming vocals. Is his facade is very tough, right? He puts on this big boy facade. So in that sense I agree with you, it fits. I just think I'm actually surprised that this was as big of a hit as it was, because I don't feel it's a particularly radio inclined song in that sense, especially because I was just looking. There was actually
The Morning. I feel like The Morning is more of a radio type.
I 100% agree. There was actually two singles. There was Wiki Games, which was the first one, and then the second one was 28, the final track. But it actually peaked at number 53 on the Hot 100, so it was a major hit.
Hold up, final track?
Yeah, I think so, right?
The Knowing is the final track, no?
No, 28 is the final track.
Then what album have I been listening to on Spotify? It's not on there.
I don't know.
Seriously?
Yes.
Isn't that on like the what?
Have you not listened to the track 28?
No. I've just been listening to this one. Just the original one.
I don't know.
House of Balloons original. It's 9 tracks, and The Knowing is the last one.
I can tell you the single 20 is the track 28 in there?
No.
That was the second single. Came out November 13th, 2012.
Okay, sure.
We can tack that on. But yes.
Sure.
Well, I know why. I think I know why actually, and that is because it was part of the trilogy. Because this came out March 21st, 2011.
Yeah. Yeah.
But 28 was only part of the trilogy part of it, where they took all the three mixtapes and put it together. So I guess that's why.
Is it?
And that's also when the single came out. Wicked Games was released September 25th, 2012. So after they actually did the trilogy. Right. And that makes sense because that's the album that the cover that everybody remembers, where he is holding, he is being held from behind by a woman, like she's, but yeah.
This is not the one I used in the
no.
promo.
No, the original one is the one with all the balloons on it.
Yeah.
Anyways,
right, next song.
Let's go next. Yes. Now, this is for me where the album splits, kinda, because up until this point it's been kinda what do you call it? Like it's been time wise it's all fit together. You've gone chronologically, it's called.
Yes.
Where you've followed him through an evening out, right? But this is not. This is more of a I guess a philosophical take, I would guess.
Yep.
Once again, very well produced. I feel like the whole atmosphere is wonderful. Yep. What's your take?
Well, I do feel like the first part of the like the party of the instrumental just sounds like a fun party and just a good time.
Yes. Exactly.
He's again he has this girl and he's kind of enabling her with all the drugs and the sex. And
they're kind of enabling each other, I feel, right?
Yeah. I don't have that much, like, this wasn't my favorite of the whole album.
No.
So I didn't write that much.
I feel the same. I will say, in general, this is also a 2-part track, the party and the after party. And the first part, the party, is, I don't want to say forgettable, but it's just okay. It's very easy to listen to. They're just having fun. They're doing drugs again. They're running upstairs to have sex in a room. All that stuff.
Yep.
Now, I will say the after party for me is a lot more interesting.
I agree. I have that's.
Oh, you do have. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. So the second part, even though it sounds like a really relaxing and kind of happy-ish track, he has some lines that kind of completely contradict.
I agree.
The instrumental, like, if she stops, I might get violent. Drowning from my wrist, like, I don't know if he's meaning that he's gonna inflict some wounds upon himself.
It feels like that, right? He's like
or if he's gonna like shoot some liquid into his veins. I don't know, but yeah, that's some wild things that he's saying that you will not get if you're just vibing to the song.
Yeah.
So yeah, that one that did kind of catch me off guard. I was like, what is he saying?
This is for sure the part where I think it's almost not debatable that he's taken too many drugs, and he is feeling he's not feeling well. He starts out saying, I think I'm fucking gone, rolling on this floor, messing up your carpet. Like he's fucked up. He's taking too many drugs. He's, like you say, at first he was feeling like $1 million. Then he walked through the store, and then obviously he's kind of blaming her in some sense, because he wants her and she wants to do drugs, so he feels like he has to do the drugs. That's the way I read it. Like he's, and I don't know if that's how it feels, like what he actually means, but I read it as if to forget about his actual love interest that we heard about in Wicked Games. Now he wants to forget about her, so he's out trying to replace her with a girl of the evening, or like a girl from the club. They to forget, he wants to do drugs. he probably accepts that he was feeling good. Now when they walk to her apartment, she wants to do more drugs, and he's like, oh, okay, I guess. Now he's feeling fucked up.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't know. I mean, it's just it's very easy to listen to this part. You're right. It's very I almost chill, I would say, the beat.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But it's just the contents of the verse is very, very, like you said, the contrast is very big. Almost like before with the Wicked Games, where it was the other way around, where the beat was very cold and hard and he was very soft. Here's the opposite. The beat is very soft, easy listening. And then in the second verse, he goes, I got a brand new girl. She'll probably OD before I show her to my mom. Yeah, so he's just like, and he says it so casually. It's just, he obviously knows what he's doing. He doesn't regret it. But he also knows he's fucked up. Like, it's not good. Yes, very eerie track once you listen to the contents of the verses.
For sure.
Very ooh, it doesn't make you feel good inside.
And if you let it run, it does transition straight into the next song.
It melts over into calming
Which,
down.
Lord, this song has me in a trance.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I've okay, so obviously the first time I listened to this whole album was in the car, and I didn't really let everything sink in because I was driving, focusing on the road, whatever. So I was just listening to it. Then when I came home, like, I put my headset on and I just sat on the couch with a drink and I just closed my eyes and just listened to the whole album.
Yeah.
And that is definitely the way to go with this whole album.
Oh,
because
I agree.
there's been songs that I not necessarily liked that car ride that I loved when I was just sitting down.
I completely agree. And in general, I feel like that is exactly what I was kind of saying at the beginning. Like, R&B at this point was kind of grind and bump music, where it's like, girl, I'ma take you home, and or it was breakup songs, right? Look what she did to me, I'm feeling bad. This is a completely different way of going about R&B music.
Yeah.
And you have to listen to it multiple times because you won't catch all the... In this sense, it is almost rap. And the way he...
flows on the track.
Yes, it's almost really rap-like at some points. So, yes,
the way he sings all alone in the beginning.
Yeah, eerie.
Times. Oh, it's so... Oh, my God. It gives me shivers. Every time
it's hauntingly beautiful. I think that's the perfect word for it, because it's so, on one hand, it's insanely beautiful. His voice is so beautiful, but at the same time you go, oh, this feels bad. This feels it rubs you the wrong way because it feels so true, so real to you.
It does. And obviously it's about coming down from all the drugs. And he's been doing questionable shit that you don't necessarily want your partner to do in a relationship.
No.
And once he's coming down, and once he is on that high, everything, he doesn't care. He's just fucking these bitches. He's doing all this drugs. It doesn't matter. Once he's on the come down, he's like, fuck. I do have feelings for this girl.
This is the low point, right? This is where he goes, everything is fucked up and I feel horrible. And the only thing I want is to call the girl I love and tell her, I love you, I need you, I want you, all that stuff.
I do not know how to stop this.
No, exactly. Yes. Yeah. Exactly. And the second verse is I feel like this is almost, I don't understand why he's called it Coming Down, because in the second verse he starts out by saying, popping again, I tried to quit again. So it's almost, I don't know if that's in some sense I think it's because he's I read it as if he's called her and this is her voicemail and he's like talking to her through the voicemail. And he's telling her, I tried to quit, I'm always with someone, they want to do it, but they got my back, but I have to, like, and almost to some extent a throwback to Kendrick Lamar, like with the homies, right? It's kind of the same vibe you get, right? But he ends up by saying, but I didn't lie about you. I didn't lie about how I feel about you. You are the one I want. and it's just so devastating. It's so.
Yep. But then it flows into a sample.
Yes.
And the first time I listened to it, I was like, "This is Japanese. Like it has to be."
It is.
And then I looked it up, and for my fellow anime enjoyers out there, it is Ayako Kawasumi, which is, and this sample is taken from Fate Stay Night, which is a very popular anime.
Oh, is it?
Where she voices the character Saber, which is kind of like a female version of Arthur, like Arthur Pendragon, like the Sword
in the Stone.
But and it kind of the beat kind of evolves after that with like kind of a quick snippet of a voice, and then the piano.
It like opens up almost, right?
Yeah. Yep. And it just again, I feel like it just when I sat down with a drink, it just put me in a whole like other world, like it put me in a trance. Like it was just like,
see that.
Whoa.
Yes, very beautiful.
It was amazing. Yeah.
At the first time I listened to this track, I kind of felt like that bridge by Ayako Kawasumi was almost misplaced. Cause I didn't understand what it was at that point. And I'm not sure if it actually has a meaning, what it actually means.
It does. Yeah. If you look on Genius, you can see the translation.
I'm actually. Oh,
but it's actually, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so it's about drugs. It's about the way. Okay, interesting.
It's not about drugs. It's
you can read it both ways, I guess. It goes, I wish you would not trouble me. Why are you doing what you're doing makes me uncomfortable. You learned about my past and used that against me several times. Yep. That could be both about the drugs and about the girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's actually interesting. Interesting.
Yep. Yeah, that's this. I love this song. I really love this song.
Yeah, it's very beautiful. It is one of the ones I revisit more often on this album.
Yep. This is one of the ones that I'm gonna definitely put in my.
Put in the rotation.
On the old rotation.
Yeah.
Yep.
By the way, I did some research, and up until this point, every track has been to some extent produced by Elangelo. So shout out to Elangelo, who apparently is a Grammy award-winning Canadian producer. So good job for him.
Yep.
Now, here is I don't know, but I would guess this one is one of the most popular tracks. The next one on the album. Yes.
You think? Really?
I think so. I just think it's a very, very quintessential R&B track, I want to say, almost. Like, the rhythms are very familiar to most R&B people, I feel like. Mm-hmm. The verses are very R&B, like, very long.
Yes.
Very... Yep. And I guess it is only one verse, technically, I would guess.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is one verse.
And it's just...
one long verse.
Man, I really like this track. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts?
First time around, I almost skipped it.
Really?
When the outro began, I almost skipped it. I almost skipped the whole 2 extra minutes of the outro because it's like in the car, it just felt like it's just like. But then again, I set on my headphones, and it just puts you in. It's almost like you're in a void. Oh, you're just alone with your thoughts, and it just keeps echoing. But again, like you said on the last song, it's hauntingly beautiful.
Yes.
In the outro. Now on the first part of the song, I love it. It was great.
The verse is very beautiful.
Even the first time around, I loved the first part of the song.
Yes.
I just really didn't like the outro at first. And obviously, he's just taking this girl to his loft because he has a loft now to have sex.
Loft music.
Yep.
I feel like this track is obviously him getting high again. He is with a girl again who he wants to have sex with, but she's kind of leading him on to some extent. He says blue ball queen. So, I also feel like this is very obviously his mind's kind of wandering. It's a very long verse, and his mind is just wandering in different directions. There's not a lot of there's not a lot of coherent thoughts about it almost.
Yep.
But it's very beautiful. But yeah, the last part after the outro and the 2 minutes, so beautiful.
I think it's 3.
Is it 3 minutes?
I 3 whole minutes of just
the beat.
outro.
Oh,
yeah,
so beautiful. This is produced by himself apparently, with a guy called Jeremy Rose. So very, very nice. Very, very, very beautiful track. And I imagine, I don't know, but I would theorize that there was supposed to be a second verse, because it feels like, I don't know if
I don't know. Maybe it's just it's.
I don't know. It just
is what it is like.
I almost feel like you could take that second part and just like have it like study music or whatever. Could it just be in the background, just run along. Very, very beautiful.
Yep.
Okay, and then we end up with The Knowing.
Yes, sir.
Apparently the final track on this album.
It is official album, original album, the final track.
Anyways.
Yep. Yeah, go on.
It feels like this is him talking about his love interest from Wicked Games, the girl he wants to be with, and that she's with someone else. And he is very sad. He's a sad boy.
Yeah. But I kind of felt like I got the feeling that she cheated on him, so he's like, all right, I'm just gonna do it too. Fuck you.
Wait, what way around? So he cheated first, and then she was like,
no, she cheated first, and then
interesting.
He did. That's what I kind of I don't know. I mean, it's wild. The wildest thing I've ever heard is just fucking that to let his current girlfriend taste the girl that he had an affair with, which is wild.
That's some next level.
That's some fucking yeah. But yeah, the whole song is just, about that relationship is never going to be the same. They don't kiss the same anymore.
No.
He won't get it up. She's dry.
It's like all the things are wrong. All that could go wrong is wrong.
Yep.
I hot take, I don't really enjoy this song a lot.
We agree on that one.
We do?
We do not agree on that one.
We disagree?
Yeah, we heavily disagree even.
Really? You like the song a lot? Interesting.
I like this song a lot. I don't necessarily know why it is, but I just really love the sound of this song.
I could get that. I could get the sound part. I think it's, again, I think that's a theme for most of the... We should probably, at some point, as a side note, just review albums that we know are trash, because we've reviewed just acclaimed albums up until this point.
It's just fucking peak albums.
Yeah, I know, right?
But we should do like a... what's it called?
Lil Pump. Review Lil Pump album.
I mean, listen. I could get turned to Lil Pump sometimes.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, just do a revival.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, I think...
sorry, Marshall, don't come at me.
I think this is...
I respect you a lot.
This is, again, a very well-produced song, and I like the way it sounds. Yeah. It's just, I feel like the subject matter in general is just kind of meh, and it's an almost 6-minute track.
Well, you know why I feel like it's the contents are not meh? It's because this is kind of like almost the only different song with different content in the whole album.
I agree with that. That's
why I feel like it's kind of refreshing. Like I was like, oh, this is different. I like it.
I don't know. I feel like if you do a mixtape, you have 8 songs. I don't know, but it would feel like this is, first of all, chronologically out of order, almost like it. I don't know, because he says I know everything. Why didn't you put it up ahead? Second of all, if you have 8 songs already and they're all as great as this is, I feel like this is a weird tack on in the end. I don't hate it per se. I just don't. I wouldn't put this on. If there was a skip on this album, this is it for me for sure.
So what I feel like, I don't think it is out of place, because after all the partying and all the drug use and all the whatever, it's like this is like the most sober track. Like he's clear-headed, he's clear-minded, like, I know what you did. So,
really? Interesting.
That's what I kind of feel like. So So the whole album, he's under the influence. Like there's something, and coming down, kind of, um, to that, like he's on his way down. And this is like him being sober and him like owning up to like, yo, I'm hurt as fuck.
Interesting.
Off of this. That's kind of what I feel like.
I feel like this is I can definitely see where you're coming from, but to me it just more feels like he's just out for revenge almost. Like you say, the first verse, I'm gonna let you taste her.
Yes.
And it just
that's very petty.
I ain't washing away my sins. That is kind of just like, what? Okay. It feels very real. Yes. I like the rest of the album. I don't think this is made up, and I don't think this is I feel like this is something that actually happened to him, or that he did to some extent. But I don't know.
Agree. I do agree that he is kind of like, he's kind of blaming her for what he's doing wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
In that way.
But again, it's not like I hate it. And if we were bumping into the car and you were like, "Oh, I love this track," I wouldn't go, like what the heck? Why? Skip. Yeah, exactly. It just feels unnecessary for me to put it on, because I feel like it would have been a much cleaner album if you had ended on Loft Music. But I get why. Now we have Left Out, and you haven't listened to 28. Nope. So we won't get into that.
We'll discuss it shortly next time.
Let's put a pin in it, and then we'll just come back to it next time. For now, that's the end of the album.
Mm-hmm.
What are your general thoughts?
General thoughts. I mean, to bring this out as your debut mixtape and wild. Shaping the whole of R&B, like how amazing must it have been for him to like, because his voice nowadays is so iconic.
Yes.
So it's like, it's amazing. I love almost all of the tracks. I love, and I like the rest of them. There's none that I dislike.
I completely agree, and it's so funny to me looking at how he's viewed now as the biggest pop sensation, because he has obviously evolved way past this into Starboy and Dawn FM, Blinding Lights, probably the most streamed track on Spotify of all times.
Yep. Isn't he number one as well on Spotify?
That's a good question.
He is. I think he actually is number one on Spotify right now.
Most streamed artists?
Most streamed artists. I think he overtook Drake.
I'm gonna look at you. Yes, he is. Oh, by a wide margin, even.
Yeah. He is killing it.
Let me preface this by saying Drake is number 10 only. Drake has 60.
He dropped.
Yeah, Drake has 67.98 million monthly listeners. Ed Sheeran is number 4, 82 million. Taylor Swift is number 2, 84 million. So there's not a big gap between number 2 and number 4.
Let me guess. Number 2, Ariana.
No. Ariana Grande is number 6, 79.6 million.
Who's number 2?
Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is number 2. Miley Cyrus is number 3, which is wild to me.
Miley?
Yeah.
When did she bring out music? I
haven't
heard of Miley.
She put the flowers. I can buy myself flowers. Anyways, okay. The Weeknd, but number 2 has 84.3 million monthly listeners, right?
And he's on
110.6. So there's a 26 million difference.
That is wild.
Wait, that's just wild. But yes, he is the biggest star in the world right now. His last 3 albums have been acclaimed. They have been wonderfully done. But you're right. As a debut mixtape, this is so raw and so real. If you were to give this an Anthony Fantano 1 to 10, where are we at?
Okay, so I'm gonna do an initial car ride rating, and then sitting on the couch with my headphones rating.
That's good. I like that. All
right, so I was gonna give it like a 6 out of 10 in the car.
Interesting.
Yeah, I really I couldn't get into it in the car. I really could not.
Yeah.
Now I give it an 8.5 or a 9 out of 10.
Solid.
Solid. Really getting into it. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah,
What about you?
for me, it's also somewhere between 8 and 9. Solid 9, solid 8, light 9. There are so many highlights, and
Yeah.
when you get the references that like, I will say when I first sat down like you did and listened to the album in its entirety and actually took time reading the lyrics and examining the beats, you see why this shaped hip hop. Like R&B and hip hop for the better part of a decade.
I almost feel like it's like a branch of R&B that he created. It's like a more dark and like real version of R&B.
He almost reinvented R&B, right? And that bled over into hip hop, and it also blended into pop, because I feel like a lot of the beats. I take something like I Knew You Were Trouble by Taylor Swift, that has the almost R&B, like the almost dubstep like chorus. Almost the same as High for This, like the way the chorus is and the way it's so dark and.
Oh yes, exactly.
Yep. So you can see the influence of this mixtape over so many years and so many different artists, and that's wild. I feel like we reviewed Nas, and that's almost the same vibe I get from this. It's just a masterpiece. It's shaped the entire landscape, and the Weeknd did the same thing here. So
all right, so
top 3
Shall
tracks.
Yes.
You want me to start this time?
You go first.
Okay.
Sure. Give me a top 3.
The easiest number 1 for me on this is number 1. High for This. I love that track. It is phenomenal. I bump that all the time. I think in 2019, if I remember correctly, that was my most played track on Spotify.
Really?
Yes. I had it on repeat that entire year. It was amazing. Number 2 is House of Balloons / Glass Table Girls.
Okay.
And I would, if I could, I would probably still split them up, but I enjoy them almost equally. So if they were separate tracks, they would probably be 2 and 3. And number 3 is now Wicked Games, because I've learned to love it a lot, and the chorus is just phenomenal. How about you?
Wow. All right. So we have completely different ones.
Interesting. That's the first time.
We have one shared one.
Oh.
Yeah. So my number 1 is actually coming down.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I love that song.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Number 2 for me is Wicked Games. It's just it's beautiful.
Yes.
And for me, and you're gonna kill me for this.
Nah, don't do it. Don't do it to me. I don't believe it.
I am not. But I'm gonna give honorable mentions because the number 3 spot was really close for me.
Yeah.
So I have The Morning and House of Balloons, Glass Table Girls, as honorable mentions. Like those, either of those 3 could be number 3 for me. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Wow. That's the first.
Didn't know. That's the first.
Yeah.
That's wild to me. With that said, everybody down below, put your top 3 tracks from this album. And any other thoughts? Do you dislike it? Do you love it?
Oh,
whatever.
I mean, if you dislike it, then check yourself. Check yourself. Get your heart broken, then you'll love it.
I think with that, it's that's the end of the album review.
Yep. All right, everyone. You know what time it is. It is time for the last call. Now, orders up.
Last drinks, everybody. You went heavy.
But it doesn't matter, because it doesn't matter what your last drink is. You party until it's empty. So smart. Anyway.
Party smart, not hard, or whatever.
Exactly. You know what we like to do with the last call? We like to ask a bit more personal or deep questions. So yeah, but you asked me a question at the beginning of this episode.
Obviously, we have to return to my original question first. Yep. And that was, we've now done 3 episodes and 3 after hours.
Yes, sir.
What, if you can single out one thing, what is the most important thing about this podcast to you?
The friends we made along the way, people. Oh, sorry.
Hearts in the chat.
No. No, I think if I have to single something out, it would probably just be, um, yeah, just to have something fun to look forward to every week together.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably my number. Like, if I have to single out, otherwise it's just uh, reviewing albums, catching up every week. Just
I'm glad you went the personal way because, like, obviously, I've had the question beforehand, so I cheated a bit, like a good kitchen show, right? The cooking show. But I agree with you. It is very nice that you and I get to expand our friendship, and because we don't get to spend that much time in general, because we live in different countries. So it is nice to have something to look forward to and to catch up on, and feel some sort of commitment towards. So we also keep each other up to date. If I were to choose something different, it is actually the second part you say, which is the albums, because I feel like this is an epic opportunity to get to know some music that you, in quotation marks, should know. Because I feel like, and now here comes the track, the monologue. I feel like in general, just like we went from big YouTube videos to shorts and TikToks, we also went from albums to tracks only. You listen to the singles. And so I feel like it's been very nice listening to full albums and getting the full experience. Like, obviously, we had both listened to Good Kid, Mad City before, but it was actually the first time I've listened to it with that much intent, I want to say, and that deeply, where you go, the sum of all these tracks is actually greater than the parts, because it is a concept and you get the whole experience and you understand what he wants to convey to you. And so I think that's very nice. Other than that, I think there's a fun one, which is it's just a good thing to have something that is just fun to do. Like you say, it's having somewhere to shoot the shit, banter around, just a free space where you can just enjoy yourself and do something you like. And so it's been very nice to have these recording sessions to look forward to, where we could just fool around a bit and do something we enjoy.
Like not putting the knowing in your top 3 or something?
Listen,
or like
we're through this, Joey. Listen, you waste 6 minutes of your life every time you listen to that track. No, anyway.
You're gonna have some fucking what do they call EXO tour live or whatever.
Oh yeah,
fangirls. Fangirls in your basement tomorrow.
Engage. Be in the comments. I'll fight you.
Let him cook.
Let him cook.
Who let this man cook?
Yes. Why am I in the kitchen? No, but that's been very nice.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, do you have another thing? If not, I have a thing for you.
All right, hit me.
So we've discussed a lot of things on these last calls.
Yes.
We've not had the very obvious question.
Okay.
Single player or multiplayer games?
Ooh.
Yeah, here we go.
Now, okay, this is opening up a can of worms. So, nah, I'm not kidding.
I'm through with worms. Joey. I don't want any more worms.
I grew up playing only multiplayer games.
Really?
Yeah, because my first game that I played was World of Warcraft.
Really? That is a can of worms in itself, I guess.
Well, no, it is actually. Man. No, I'm fucking lying. But when I really got into gaming,
you're making me depressed now. I'm old.
The first one was actually Pokemon Diamond and Pearl on the Nintendo DS.
Epic games, to be fair. Epic games.
Amazing.
Well,
I am going to say multiplayer because I like enjoying games with other people.
That makes sense.
Although I do love a good story-driven single player game, like especially nowadays with like The Last of Us, God of War,
yes,
shit like that. Amazing games.
I think it's completely different things, right? And they bring completely different like both pros and cons. Like there's almost no greater feeling than when you get together with a friend or 2 or 3 or 4 and you play Counter-Strike or you play League of Legends or you play World of Warcraft or whatever. And you and I met through World of Warcraft in the end, so I love that. But I will say there are few things that gives me more satisfaction than playing a very, very good single player game. The immersion you can get from a single player game, that be like The Last of Us, or that being a more realistic game, or that being Zelda or whatever.
Yes.
There is something very, very satisfying about completely detaching yourself from the world we live in and being able to embody and inhabit another world and get to spend 10, 50, 100, 1,000 hours in that world.
Yeah.
With that, what are some games you look forward to?
Look forward to?
There are some big games on the horizon. Is there any game in particular you go,
I don't know. Like, I haven't really looked into.
Interesting.
I haven't really looked into it. I haven't been gaming that much, really, lately. I think, ever since I came back from New Zealand, I haven't really.
That's true.
Watched any games yet?
I keep forgetting you spent 2 months without a PC, and then it's hard to get back into it. Like,
it's like I haven't felt the need, which is amazing.
I guess.
I love it. That I'm not just constantly just
that's the other part,
away
right?
on solo queue.
Yeah, there's also the part where I was sick for 4 years, like mentally. I had a mental illness, and so in that sense, gaming both became an outlet and an escape, a coping mechanism, and also it was the place where I got my social interactions because I couldn't really go out that much. But I agree with you. Everything is good in doses, right? And it depends on how big the dose is, if it's good or bad for you. Yes. So yes, don't sit inside all day in game as a thing you do in
for fun.
Yes, in addition to getting out and living your real life. But yeah, I also think like for you, it's you also play like long-standing titles. Like you've played League of Legends forever. You've played
for like almost 9 to 10 years.
Yeah, and so that's like you played TFT because that's in the League of Legends realm.
In the client,
yeah, and then so
yep. I mean, it's what it is. I haven't felt the need to really get back into it. If I do, I'll. Maybe Diablo 4
yes,
kind of pull me back
I was
in.
hoping you said that because obviously that's what actually brought me to this point was Diablo 4 has just had open beta a couple of weeks ago, and some people are loving the way it looks, other people are very much against it, but for me that is the next big highlight of gaming wise. I look so much forward to. I love Diablo. I've spent probably more hours in Diablo 2 than any other game, I think.
It looks good.
It looks amazing.
I tried a bit of Diablo 3. I liked it, so I'm just gonna see what it is. I'm gonna see what's up.
Makes sense.
Yup.
As a side question, what was your favorite gaming experience of all time? If you could pick one.
Should we do a little naughty?
Yeah, do it.
All right. I'm gonna say this is the end of the episode. If you want to listen to the rest of this conversation, listen to the after hours, because after hours is up next. And if you don't know what after hours is,
you're in for a treat. You're in for a treat.
You're in for a treat. So I think I would. Well, no, I don't think I would love to say thank you to everyone who has been watching the last week, because I feel like the reception and the engagement I feel like we've already had in 1 week has been mind-blowing.
Way better than expected. Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
So thank you to everybody that's taken time out of their schedule to listen, to like, to subscribe, hopefully. And if you are listening to this and enjoyed it and haven't subscribed, please consider doing so by clicking the button below, ringing the bell, all that stuff.
And don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok if you want to see some funny clips of
some shorts
of the podcast, or if you just want to follow along, because we update at least a few times a week on what's the next album going to be. So yeah, I think
other than that, there's only to say thank you for listening.
Yep.
And as always, we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye-bye.